So the chat is going crazy. They want me to move on to the next topic.
Okay.
So this is actually I went on Google and just kind of curious as to what people are looking for when it comes to relationships. And since you guys are so confident in how smart you are relative to other humans, I just wanted
relative to other humans, just our little mini humans in our
yeah,
house. That's all.
I just wanted to see what directives you would give to other people who are
Oh jeez. Oh gosh.
relationship questions, and just because I know that you guys are really into just like summarizing, you know, people's life events and what they're struggling with into just simple answers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. How much time we got?
Sarcasm.
So I want you guys to just put these people on the right path, set them straight. All right. So I'm gonna go through some of these questions here. And what do you think? Do you think so? These are the top 10 questions. Some of them won't be anything to really like answer. Some will just be kind of something to weigh in on.
Sure.
One of them in particular, it's nothing to even talk about almost. But what do you think? Do you think we just go in order? Do you think that we pick out certain ones that I think would be juicy? There's 10 of them. How do you?
Whatever you want to do.
I think you should probably pick out the ones that are going to be juicy.
She wants to pick out the juicy ones, and we'll relegate ourselves to like we'll try to do 2-minute answers or something.
Oh gosh,
make it
less
fun.
than that.
Make it fun.
Okay. All right. So 2-minute answers. I'll actually put 2 minutes on the clock, and let's see time.
2-minute challenge.
I guarantee you, I'm going to say
2-minute
something
challenge
that somebody's going to be like,
goals.
"What?" It's going to happen. It's just then I'll have to have a 30-minute podcast to explain the one thing.
All right. So I'll ask the question. I'll have you guys answer it, and then after we answer it, I'll have you guess what number out of 10 it is as far as like the top 10 questions. Right?
Oh, these are ranked. Oh shoot.
Yeah,
okay.
No, these are the top 10 ranked questions.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've never thought to look that up. That's interesting.
That's amazing.
All right. Question number 1. How to save your relationship?
How to save your relationship?
2 minutes now. And
oh gosh.
Now you like hold on. Let me pause it real quick. So let me kind of give you like a framework, right? So imagine you are talking to a person, and it's kind of like speed dating, right? So they come onto the screen. Have you guys ever seen Omegle before? The website Omegle?
I've heard of it. No, I've seen it.
So
I've seen videos of it. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So basically, you just kind of like click a button and you like see a random person,
right?
And then you can talk to them for as long as you want. And when you decide that you don't want to talk to them again, you just click and go to the next one, right? So imagine you're just like meeting random people. So imagine this is kind of like Omegle in that way. Where it's just people coming on asking you a very forward question, and you have to provide them an answer because the reason why they're even on the app is because they're in a desperate situation where they are looking for a real answer. You guys have to kind of try to do your best, right?
Okay. All right.
So how to save your relationship? Start.
All right. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me in how to save your relationship is you have to be willing to admit what you did to damage the relationship. So that's the first thing. You have to be willing to be honest in your part of why the relationship is in the situation that it is. Because I can't change him. I can only change me. So if I'm not willing to deal with me, like we're in trouble. I can't change him, but I can change me. So I got to deal with me.
And anything you save is being saved from something. So you need to identify what is it that threatens the relationship. And like she said, if If it's you, then you need to figure out what you need to adjust. But at the same time, you have to have agreement from both sides that you're going to do 100% of whatever it takes to save it, to whatever that threat is, to get rid of it so that it can be saved.
Only one of you working really, really hard only lasts for so long. You can do it. One person can carry the relationship. You really can for a little while, but it's not sustainable for long term. No. That's like some short term stuff. Like, okay, one of us could do that for a little while. So both of you absolutely have to be willing to, like you said, put the work in.
Yeah.
You both have to be willing to show up and put that hard work in.
Yeah.
Okay, so 45 seconds. This is one person who's on here asking this question, and I would imagine that when they're searching this, they're looking for a specific answer as far as like, hey, what do I do next, right? Like, what's the very next thing I should do? It's just me. You know, my wife isn't here. My husband isn't here. I want to know, hey, how do I save my relationship? What would you recommend the next thing they do be?
I think the very next thing they would have to do is have the first hard conversation about what are they saving the relationship from? What is the threat? That's your next step, is finding out what's threatening the relationship and why does it need rescuing? That's the very next step. Why does it even need rescuing? Why is it even in trouble? Because if you don't even know why it's in trouble,
what are you saving it from?
What are you saving it from?
All right. Very, very strong ending to that question. Started out weak, but ended strong. So, all right. What do you guys think as far as a top 10 ranking? What do you, where do you think that one landed?
That's
actually, you know what? Let's do this.
That's gotta be top 3.
Let's actually do this. I'll ask a couple more questions. I'll do it at the end because once you have context for the other questions, it might give you an idea for like where to rank it.
Okay. Because that seems like a top 3 question.
Right.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Some time on the clock. How to make long distance relationships work. 2 minutes.
Well, communicate.
Right. Lots of communication.
Lots of communication. I think that we get too wrapped up in the physicality of relationships when the physicality of the relationship is not what's going to sustain the relationship, because everybody's bodies get old and all of us look differently in 20 years than we did 20 years before, and 40 years, and so on and so on. So you want a long-lasting relationship. If you want a long-lasting relationship, you actually have a beautiful opportunity in a long-distance relationship to actually build communication and be creative. I'll let her speak more to that, but being creative as well.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm Miss Touchy-Feely. Like, I need physical touch. So I can honestly say that, like, being a person that was in a long distance relationship and I have an actual genuine need, not a want, it's a need for physical touch. I think that you can do it, because at the end of the day, that's not what's going to keep the relationship alive in the future. It is going to be the actual communication. Yeah. So I agree with him. It's the opportunity. And you get creative. We had a long distance relationship and we did silly things like, we went on dates and together, which meant we went to the same place at the same time and sat there on the phone. There was no video at the time.
Yeah, we didn't have
FaceTime. There wasn't FaceTime. There was literally just talking. And so we talked and ate, or we would we'd find a movie that was playing at the same time, and we were an hour apart in our time differences. And we went to the movie theater on a date and watched a movie together on our date on the phones, like literally plugged up to the phone at the same time, watching the movie in the movie theater. And we found ways to make it creative. And we were in a long distance relationship for a year, and we saw each other two times a year in 1 year. Yeah. And that was our long distance relationship. So
I would say it's definitely doable.
Yeah, for sure.
And it could be one of the most amazing things you two ever experience in your relationship.
Yeah.
And actually set you up to be further ahead.
Yeah, I agree.
In your relationship, because you're forced to communicate.
You're forced to communicate, because there's no, we used to say this when we were talking, I couldn't see his face again. There was no FaceTime. So I couldn't see him. So when there was silence or something, like, of course, there was more of the awkward silence moments. I'd have to actually ask, hey, are you okay? Hey, what's going on?
Right.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Right.
Vice versa. He couldn't see me. He didn't know why I was silent. So he had to keep asking, keep talking, keep inquiring, and so that kept us learning and learning and learning and learning a lot about each other.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because even when you describe that situation of like asking, hey, what's going on? It sounds like what you were just describing where you're talking about relentless seeking when you're talking about your kids. And I would imagine the same is true of your relationship, right? Just kind of like that showing up to let the other one know that they're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Your 2 minutes is up. So no more yes. 2 yes is enough. Question number 3. What is an open relationship? You guys may not see this, but this is 2 minutes starting now.
An open relationship. Okay. I'm gonna assume that we're not talking about an open relationship as in the open where couples make a agreement that they're being intimate with other people, open, or dating other people. I think what the question must be leaning to, I would hope, is an open relationship where there is high trust, in that I can be open with the person that I'm in a relationship with, the person I'm married to, what have you. And I think that's interesting because I do believe that there are many marriages, and even if you want to say long lasting relationships, that are not open. Still, they're not open. It's always interesting to me when I hear people say, I can talk to my best friend about this, but I can't talk to my husband or my wife about it. It's not a, how can I say it? Not to be not a statement of judgment, but I would say that that's concerning, and that's something that you would have to ask yourself, like, why am I more comfortable talking to someone else who at any point in time in my life can just bounce, but this person who I'm connected to in a deeper way, my husband, my wife, I don't feel comfortable enough to share certain things with them. I think that is a relationship that is not open. I think an open relationship is one where I am comfortable, I feel safe, I feel secure. I feel safe enough to be able to tell you something that's super embarrassing and know that you're not going to like judge me or degrade me or diminish who I am, but you're going to see where my weakness is or where my deficiency is, and actually go, you know what? I hear you. I see you. And what do you need? How can I help?
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I think an open relationship is one where you can have confrontation and you can have like confession at the same time.
That's good.
Yeah,
she should have went first.
I can come to him. I can come to him because I have, and it's been tested. I can confront him, and I can confess to him.
Same.
Like no problem.
Ditto.
I can come to him, and we do have really, really, really high trust because we've worked that high trust. And because of that, I get to be myself, which is huge because I need that, and he gets to be himself and he needs that. So an open relationship means that like he can take off for a couple of days because he needs it, and that's okay. And I can do the same. Like it's not, no question. Like there's certain things that we both just need that we know, and they will not always include each other.
Right.
That's doesn't mean that like what he was saying earlier, doesn't mean that I'm going to go and date another man for a little bit because I need that, or vice versa. But it does mean that I need, I just need time alone or with my people or whatever. And he needs the same, or just whatever it looks like. But an open relationship for us, I think 100% means it's a really, really, really high trusting relationship where you get to be yourself, and you're accepted 100%, and it's even nurtured, for you to get to still be you.
So this is another question that feels like it's connected, and I'll give a little bit of context to how I think you guys should go about answering it. I would imagine that this person is asking the question because for a reason, right? So just kind of think about it through that lens, right? Like there's a reason why they're kind of like they've either come across this concept and got interested in it, or as you do, you know, something happens and you're like, I wonder if, or what about this, right? What is a poly relationship? 2 minutes.
So, I mean, yeah, so a poly relationship. So there's no other way to 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 actually slice this one, because poly means more than one. It means multiple. Uh, so if we're talking about a true poly relationship, that means that I have an idea that I can be in a committed relationship with more than one person. Um, and you know, for some people, maybe that works. Maybe they are in a place where they feel torn because they feel extreme feelings of, you know, connection, or even intimate feelings for two people, and they're not sure what to do, or whatever. But I think that, and this is something we've been talking about just recently, I think that I think that we have to be clear on the idea of commitment versus what we would look at as a covenant. Now, most people, when they think of covenant, they think of many different things, but in ancient times, it was just something that was so serious. It meant that the agreement that you're making with somebody is so deep that it transcends even generations. There are stories of people who have had a covenant with their friend, just friends. And they find out later on in life that after their friend may pass away and they lose track of some of their family, they find one of their family members and generations down, a grandchild or something like that, that's, you know, not doing well. And they'll, because they know they had a covenant with their grandfather, they go and they take care of them. You know, they say, hey, listen, I didn't realize that you were so-and-so grandfather. This was my covenant friend. This is my best friend, my and so I'm not going to let you like come like, I'll take care of you because you've obviously got some things that you need help with, you know what I mean? Those types of relationships are important and deep, and I think that a poly relationship, by definition, if I'm looking at this the right way, is a relationship where there is commitment or covenant is not meant to be multiple. It's meant to be, you know, in this context, in a relationship context, like marriage context, whatever, is meant to be with one person, because it gets really crazy when you try to do that. And honestly, I could be wrong, but I've never seen anyone that really has exhibited like a complete, like, yeah, this is great, and everything is great, and it's the most perfect situation to have like these multiple. I mean, even we talk about, you know, what did they had that show Big Love a long time ago, where it was kind of breaking down the idea, and I think it was kind of like in Utah or whatever, where there is kind of an acceptance of that. But even the fact they had that show just showed the drama that kind of comes with that, because you're talking about the deepest, most intimate parts of a person, you know. That's a really tough thing to think that there's 2 to 3 other people who would have that access to you.
Right.
That's tough. So
yeah,
a poly relationship, if I'm reading it right, that's a scary thing.
I mean, you can do it. Nobody's saying
you
can't
do
it. Absolutely, you can do it. But what will you benefit from it, or how you will benefit from it, is going to be a big difference. Like he's saying, like,
what do you give up?
Yeah, like at what cost, I guess, because you're yeah, like I'm thinking about it in real time right now, and I'm like, you'll only give your deepest parts of yourself to one person. Like, you don't really, you know, I can give certain parts of myself to multiple people at the same time, but there are certain parts that I reserve for one individual. And the idea that I would want to give the deepest parts of myself to multiple people just seems really messy. If I'm honest, it just seems like, how would you even manage that? Like, it just seems really, really messy to give the my deepest secrets, my deepest wounds, my hurts, like my dreams, to multiple people, that just seems like it would be very, very complicated.
Could it be, and this is a curiosity question, right? Could it be, it's from the chat, could it be a matter of just like capacity, right? Where like some, for example, to kind of draw a parallel, there are some parents who wouldn't be able to, from a capacity standpoint, love 5 kids equally, right?
Sure.
It just, because it's a lot and it's demanding, right? And there's some parents who like, that would actually like, that's when they're capable of giving the most love. It was when they're like, have all of this around, like circling around them, this energy of dependence, if you will. Could it be a matter of like differences in capacity? And I guess the underlying question, which is what Robbie went into, is could it work?
Yeah, I think I don't think that it's a sense that it couldn't work, but I would say this: in every other relationship in our life, including children, right? There is a limit to what is given, right? So even with children, you give a lot, you give a whole lot. You, in a lot of cases, give your life for your children, right? You sacrifice things that you want, you sacrifice sometimes goals that you want to achieve to make sure that your children can achieve all the things, or have the opportunity at least to achieve all the things that they want to achieve. However, your children don't get to know the innermost, deepest parts of you. There is not a level of trust that you have with your children that goes deeper than just love in a parental way. Even with friends, there is a part of us that typically only seems to be drawn out and shared when we're in a relationship with someone that we see living with forever, right? We're with them forever. With our kids, there's a point in their life where they won't be with us. Now, a parental relationship is a lifelong relationship. Sure it is. But it is not, in fact, we call it a disorder when kids are too close to their parents and they know too much about them. We call it enmeshment, right? Enmeshment is like a kind of a disorder. You have boys that have an Oedipal complex with their moms because they know so many deep things about their mom emotionally that typically a woman wouldn't share with her child. She would share that with another adult. You know what I mean? So we would even say that that can actually be a problem. And even with other friends and things like that, I think that there's just something different. And so when we talk about capacity, we do have to ask the question: does a person have the capacity to be that deeply involved with that level of trust, that level of intimacy with more than one person, and it work, and it be a relationship that literally does last for as long as those people are alive? That's a great question. I mean, it would be great to see an example of it. But I can be honest, I've never seen something like that celebrated. So it's hard to know if it does exist or not, you know, and for a longevity, from a longevity perspective.
Yeah, I haven't seen it celebrated either. They're a forgotten group, forgotten minority. Let's move on to.
I don't think he was trying to be funny, but that was funny.
All right. All right. So for this one, a good way to think about this one, just to kind of give it like a quick context, is to heed the rules and stay to under 2 minutes. That's a good way to think about this one.
I'm gonna start giving real quick, like 2-sentence answers.
I need a timer. I need to hear that timer go off. That'll help.
I heard it.
It's not loud. It's not that loud. I don't know why.
Oh, I didn't even know that it was. I heard it. You heard it? No, he heard it. He ignored it.
I
was like, the timer. No.
Anybody got time for that time?
Anybody got time for that time?
All right. So I want to ask 3 more.
Okay.
I love these questions. Love to hear what you guys think about them. Question number 1. How to get out of a toxic relationship?
I think I had your I feel like his 8 took over my 4 in the Enneagram terms, because I literally heard myself say, "You just get out."
Get
out.
Get the hell out. What are you?
Can you find the door?
Find the door and see it.
You know that thing, you know that rectangular thing? It's got a little knob on it. You can twist it. Yeah, you go to that.
Remember your home phone number? Can you call a friend?
No, we know it's not always that easy.
Oh, it's not that easy. I think I know that's not that easy, because I've unfortunately had to leave a few toxic relationships. But
you might have your CDs in their truck.
Say that again.
It's complicated. You might have your CDs in their truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, they got your cool water.
Dang it! Gotta go back. Forgot my CDs. Oops. I'll stay the night.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right. So, how to get out of a toxic relationship?
How to get out?
Okay, how to get out of a toxic relationship.
50 seconds.
Okay. Gotcha. It's not easy. It's just not easy. Because it's toxic. There's oh my gosh.
Okay, I think my 8 is going to do this well. Really quickly.
You go.
Here's the thing. You have to ask yourself, is it worth trying to make it work? The toxicity and the effect that it has on your life, what it's costing you, is it worth what it's costing? The off chance that it's going to work if you stay in it, is it worth what it's costing you? Period. If it's not, then you need to move on. That's where it does get easy. But you gotta weigh that out, right? Toxic relationship, you're trying to figure it out, trying to fix it. Is it worth the effort, the time, the abuse, probably the discomfort? Is it worth it? And if it is worth it, then you try to figure it out. If it's not worth it, and most toxic relationships is not, you need to move on.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I agree. Ditto.
Yeah, that's good.
5 seconds to spare.
I think also, if somebody's asking the question, if you're online asking the question, how do I get out of a toxic relationship?
You know you need to get out.
You are aware of that it's toxic.
Yeah,
which is
so good.
You want to get out of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You are also not happy.
Right.
So it's best case scenario, you save the thing. It's almost like Leticia was talking about earlier, what are you saving this thing from? Let's say you save this thing, you're saving yourself into something that you're not happy with, because you're looking at
that you don't want to be with it. Right.
Even the best case scenario is pretty bad, it seems.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2 before we wrap up here. How to know when your relationship is over. And now I'm going to assume, before I start the time here, that you guys are going to contextualize this, right? Because you'll have to kind of contextualize it. So I'll say in this situation, answer it through the lens of what's your father calling me?
That's awesome. We gotta leave this in. We gotta leave that part in.
Yeah. Answer it through the lens of look, this is a person. So we're not deciding whether they should stay or not, right?
Okay.
We're answering it as a person who is you're talking to another human who wants to know, how do I know whether this thing is it's even possible to save it? Is it just over, right? And so maybe there's an approach where it's kind of taking empathy and dealing with the person as themselves, or maybe you have to contextualize I don't know. You guys are the relationship people, but I'm just kind of I know it's so big. I want to kind of scale it down if we can, to thinking about it as a specific person who's asking the question, and they're just coming to you look, how do I know if this it's just over, right? All right, let's start the time. 2 minutes.
You have something?
No, you.
Oh, okay. The first thing that comes to mind to me is like what we were saying earlier, is because it's going to take it's going to take the two people in the relationship to make it work. That question of how do I know if it's over? It seems like often, and I could be wrong, but it seems like often that question is asked of the individual who's usually putting in the work. Because they're the ones asking, like, how do you know if it's over? Like sometimes it seems like they're the one that's kind of like willing to go there and to like figure it out and do the work and ask the questions. And so I would, within that context, I think I would tell that individual, like, if that other person is still willing to work on it, I mean, it doesn't have to be over. It's not over. If that other person is still willing to put the work in and you're still willing to put the work in, then it doesn't have to be over. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind is,
Yeah, I think the context is pretty important, because if, again, it's kind of like you said about the person in a toxic relationship. Oftentimes, if I'm asking, how do I know if it's over? I already have a sense that it's over. But I think that it does bear some weight to find out, like, okay, but are you asking, is it over because you just feel it is, or are you asking, how do I know it's over, to determine whether I'm going to continue to put effort into growing the relationship? How do I know this relationship is over because I don't want to keep putting energy into it if this is it? Or how do I know this is over because I am not sure how to navigate this situation? That's a tough one. I think that I think that Leticia's answer is spot on. It's over when one or both parties don't want to continue. That's when it's over,
Yeah.
Don't I know it? All right. So, question. Last question.
Everyone on this thing is so confused right now.
All right. Last question. What does a healthy relationship look like? Maybe they're looking for like symptoms of like, how do you know that, like, okay, this thing is healthy? Or maybe they're looking for, like, they want to be healthy and they're like, hey, well, what does it actually look like? But what
it
does
looks like the first thing that comes to my mind, because I see it so often, is the first thing is, especially in this day and age, a healthy relationship is one where you don't have to go grabbing your partner's phone and checking it for stuff. If you gotta go do that, like, I hear that so often, like, I'm like, why do you even feel the need to do that? Yeah. That's a red flag right there, that if you feel a need to go snooping around your partner's things, like, that's unhealthy. But it is healthy when you don't even feel the need to do that, because there's so much trust and security in the relationship. Like, there's no need to, you don't have this sense of insecurity in this relationship. There's the opposite. There's security and there's safety, and you feel safe, and you can, so I would say that's one thing. The other thing is when you can truly be yourself, and you know that you're 100% accepted by that individual, no matter how like silly you are, how crazy you are, whatever. I mean, the ups, the downs,
crazy is, you gotta be careful with that.
Okay.
Some crazy is not
some crazy, but I'm talking about silly crazy.
Oh,
not,
silly crazy.
Not real crazy.
Not like certifiable. Okay.
Not certifiable.
Yeah.
But I think that when you can be yourself and that person accepts all of it, that's another great sign of a healthy relationship, when you guys are accepting each other fully. So I think the high trust, the security, and then being able to be yourself, for sure.
I like the phone thing, because it's so crazy in our day and age. Like, the phone can tell you a lot about whether there's trust in a relationship or not. You know, one thing we always talk about is, you know, I think both of our faces are in our phones, and we know each other's passcodes, and it's always been that way. And it's so funny. We see people who are like, you know, I don't let my girl go through my phone, or my man or my husband or my wife go through my phone. They don't have the passcode to my phone, and I'm like, wow, like that is as weird to me as like married couples that I see that have like separate bank accounts, like they have no joint bank accounts. It's like, you're setting yourself up for like disaster, because you're two people that are saying you're building a life together, but you're still living separate lives.
Mm.
That's a really scary place, because you have yet to really do the uncomfortable thing. A healthy relationship, to me, if I can give an analogy, and I use this all the time, she can tell you I say this a lot, but a healthy relationship is like a washing machine to me. You put all the ingredients in, you can put the best smelling fabric softener and detergent in there, but until there's agitation, the clothes don't come clean and smell good.
Mm.
And for me, that's a healthy relationship where you have great ingredients, but you don't shy away from the agitation, the discomfort, the confrontation and confession, the honest conversations. Because when it's all said and done, you smell amazing. You actually have a beautiful relationship that you build. And just like with clothes, they get dirty after you wear them, and you got to put them back in a washing machine again. Well, with relationships, time passes. We talk about how, you know, if we're not careful, relationships can get old. They can get mundane. We can go through the same motions all the time, and we have to go, wait. How can we, you know, agitate a little bit more? What are the things that I'm not feeling like? I don't feel like the vibrant smell of gain in our relationship anymore, right? Like how do we get that back? And that's uncomfortable sometimes, but you keep doing it. And I think that's what a healthy relationship is. Not one where it's always like, oh, I just love looking at you every day. It's just like, oh, like I can, oh, it's like, no, actually sometimes I look at you and I'm like, I can't, I should kick you out the stairs. You know what I'm saying? like it's like, right, but I'm afraid of your face. But but you work through that, you know, and when it's all said and done, you look up and you go, man, like when you, I don't know, we all know as human beings, right? Like when you overcome something, I mean, we make movies about it. We love people in history like this, when people that overcame something insurmountable, they overcame something, and they stand up and they raise their fist, and everybody's like, yeah. Right. But we don't look at our relationships that way. The moment that you hit a big something that seems insurmountable, everybody's like, well, you know, I'm just not happy, and so, you know, I'm gonna go. I don't.
How do I know when it's over?
Yeah, right. I know when it's over. I don't know when it's over. You know, so I think that, you know, we have to realize that even in relationships, there's that same thing. When you can overcome something like that with somebody, man, it just makes you stronger. Like you feel like, yeah, we can do anything at this point, you know? So
you were saying, like this morning we were talking about actually relationships, and you brought up the example of the broken bone.
Yeah. And I have one of my students, he broke his wrist, and they put it in a cast, and when it started to heal, the bone didn't sit right as it was healing. And so in order for it, they told him if they let it continue to grow, he would not have the proper use of his hand and the range of motion. So they had to go back, do a surgery where they rebroke it and reset it so that it actually could grow back better than it was before it broke. Now, so crazy, he had to go through some extreme discomfort and pain so that in the long run, he'll actually have a better situation than better use of his hand than before he broke it. Okay. And we were talking about that. I'm like, man, that's such a beautiful picture, because in our relationships, especially our romantic and intimate relationships, again, happiness. Everybody's talking about happiness. Oh, I just want to be happy. And I'm like, dude, you can't to the person that you're in that type of relationship with is going to make you the happiest, and they're going to hurt you the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. She is the only person that can hurt me the way she can, but she's the only person that can also make me as happy as she makes me. But if I only am married to her because she makes me happy, then in the moments that she hurts me, I'm ready to bounce. But even when she hurts me or when I hurt her, we have to work through it, because we know we've actually come together and said, no, we actually committed to each other. We're going to figure this thing out.
Yeah, and that's the resetting.
And that's the resetting. So when I hurt her and
constant.
she hurts me, it's a resetting of the bone. That's painful.
Yeah.
But once we get it set right, well, now we've just created the environment for that thing to grow stronger and be even better in the long run. And that's it. You know, that's how we know when it's healthy.
Yeah, I think it's not a sign of a healthy relationship for the two of you to always just be happy.
Right.
And everybody's literally agreeing about everything.
Right.
I would actually say that would concern me, because I would be like, I would be suspicious of that. I mean, someone's lying, someone's not being honest, somebody's not being themselves. So I think that a healthy relationship is one where, again, you can be fully seen and accepted. And that means that I can disagree with you. I can confront you. I can be angry with you. I can be all of those things, and you still fully accept me. And we can actually work. You can work with that. You can work with an individual who's going to fully show up, but I can't work with an individual who's not going to be, who doesn't allow me to see them fully.
Yeah.
Don't I know it? All right.
Scott.
And again, people are completely confused right now. They have no idea why we're all wrong. Okay. These questions, right? The ranking.
Yep. So I'm actually trying to share my screen with you. And
I'm so curious, because
it requires me to have
I have this weird feeling that poly relationship one is like towards the top, which is so funny.
Oh wow, you think so?
I think so, because I think that people.
Well, don't say it. Let's just wait. Don't waste energy there. It may not be necessary. All right, let me see. I have eyes now.
She said have eyes.
I think I might have to do notes. Share.
That's so funny.
I need to
poly relationship. There's so many different ways that can go. I'm just to break it down by just the dictionary, like the terms, right? Poly meaning more than one, and then relationship. So I mean, could that be more than one intimate relationship, more than one? I mean, everyone has poly relationships generally.
Okay, he's gonna.
I'm sorry. That one really just got me.
He's really concerned about.
Sorry, everybody. I just went on.
It's not like the polygraph where you gotta take the test.
No. Polygraph is different. Like if you, like a polygamist. Like a polygamist is someone who has multiple.
You sound like you were being given a polygraph. You're like, I wonder, can I get the answer right? Did I get it right? I don't know. Is it right?
Yeah.
Are they gonna say that I lied on it? I don't know.
Hey guys, like, listen, this is what happens.
So I need to grant this thing access, but I am running into an issue with it. So, share, can I do this? Open system
I think there's a share button there.
No, I do, but
technical difficulties.
Right. There's a.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the host now. That's why I don't have it. All this stuff can be edited, so we're fine.
I was laughing when you said a healthy relationship is when you said something about you look at him and you want to throw him down the stairs. I was like, oh, that's gonna go great. A healthy relationship is when you look at your spouse and you go throw you down the stairs.
No, I was saying that it's not always you look at them and you're like, oh, it's just so wonderful. I'm like, sometimes you like I just want to throw you down the stairs. Oh, there you go.
Can you see it?
Let me see.
Yeah, there we go. He's okay. There we go. Yep.
Do I need to make it?
No, it's good.
We're good.
Or you can if you want.
Oh, okay.
All right, but it's.
All right, I'll leave it.
So how do I? Oh, wow.
All right. So
these in order?
These are all questions. You guys have to. I want you to put it in order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with.
We didn't ask all of them, but let's start with the first one, and we'll just do like a.
I think.
What's number one?
I think the second to last is number one. I
How
think how to know when your relationship is over is number one.
It's either number one or number two. I'm gonna say, no. Number one is how do you get over a relationship?
Okay.
Oh. Okay, I would agree with that. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yep, I would say that. No, yeah.
And I agree with you number two.
Because the heart is hurting.
Yeah, I agree with you number two. How do you know when your relationship is over?
How to know when your relationship is over. Okay.
Yep. Well, I think they're definitely one. Those are close. They might even be close. Yeah. Okay. And then number three would be
toxic relationship. Oh no, maybe
how to save your relationship. Did we do that one yet?
What was a healthy relationship?
On how to let me delete them when they're gone.
Yep.
How to know when your relationship is over. Okay.
Okay, I would think number three would be how to save your relationship. What do you think?
How to save your relationship? Or what does a healthy relationship look like?
A healthy?
A healthy.
Ooh, all your Tennessee just came out.
Yeah.
All right, what are we going with? Number three.
Got a tie between those. Let's go how to save your relationship.
How to save your relationship. Number three.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on Family Feud. Right. Okay.
All right.
Number four.
You were singing
I don't even know what I was saying. You sang Rocky.
No, I said
shut up. Okay. Number four.
What does a healthy relationship look like? I think.
Where?
What does a healthy relationship look like?
Oh, I see it there.
Or how to build trust.
Ooh, yep. I'm gonna go with how to build trust in a relationship, Steve Harvey.
For 300.
For 300, please.
Okay.
We just mixed two game shows.
We sure did. Jeopardy and Family Feud. That's amazing.
I'll take a vowel, please.
Yeah, that's right.
Throwing some Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Let's actually do it this way. So, how to make a long distance relationship work? 5 through 10. Where are we putting this one?
Let's put that one. I'll just. I was gonna put that one next, actually.
Yeah, I could go with that. Number 5.
5. I love that you're answering like you're on a game show. Number 5. I don't know why they speak up so much. Like
number 5, please.
They
number 5.
Because
you're so excited, you want to win.
They get they get in the mic on Family Feud. I'm gonna go with that, Steve. Yeah. It's like we heard you. We heard you.
I'd like a vowel. It's like on our eardrum.
All right.
Okay. What's the next? The next one, how to change your relationship status on Facebook.
9 or 10.
What the heck? Who freaking cares? Sorry.
Okay. What do you want to put
9,
this?
10.
10.
Okay.
If that's high on the list, I'm gonna cry. Okay.
Poly relationship is 7.
Yeah. What is a poly relationship? Yeah. Okay, we'll go with 7.
7. Okay. All right.
Wait, I think so. Then
I think toxic is 6.
Wait, we gotta go in order, love.
So we've got.
What is an open relationship?
Oh, open. I'm sorry.
Open relationship.
I think open is. 8.
I think it's 8.
Oh, I should have switched poly and open.
So put what is a poly relationship
as 8.
8, and then what is an open relationship as 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
How to get out of a toxic relationship, and what does a healthy relationship look like? I think how to get out of a toxic relationship would be 9 personally, and I think what does a healthy relationship look like would be 6. What do you think?
I would flip those.
So he wants to flip them. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Jerk.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Hey.
So toxic relationship is 6.
Number 6. Okay.
A
And
healthy relationship is 9. Because I just honestly don't. I think people are not. I think that it would rank well. It could be the first one for all we know, but actually, it probably is the first one because people were probably looking for that one.
all right, cool. So this is a super good time to wrap the show. Thank you so much, Robbie and Leticia, for taking the time today to spend with us and just kind of share a little bit about your life and your perspective. I kind of say this a lot, but it's sometimes you just need to know what it looks like in practical terms. To live a healthy life. I mean, you have people here in this, Google search example, people looking for look,
Yeah.
what do I do? You have to think about how compelling that is for a human to be like, I literally don't know what to do. I'm going to look online and see if anybody else is saying anything about what they do. Right?
That's true.
How lost do you have to be at that point to do that? And so I think it's super important, super invaluable for people who are actually doing it to share their experience and talk about what they're doing and talk about what's working and to talk about what's not working. So thanks again. I really appreciate it. And we can go on and end the show now.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding. You guys weren't even going to object. I love that Leticia just sits there
I
object to the fact that you didn't share the answer.
No, I was like, okay, well, I didn't know how you would format. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm
all right, what are the answers? Come on, give them to us.
All right. So I'm going to paste the answers in here.
Oh, okay. We got to click on the doc again. There we go.
Okay.
It's funny.
All right. So, the original order is actually the order that it was in from first to last. So,
I knew what does a healthy relationship look like was at the bottom.
Let me see if I put it in this way, if it's
number. That's the last. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scroll down just a little bit.
Can you see the whole thing?
I can't see.
No, we can't.
Go down just a wee bit. Right there.
There we go. Now we can. How to make a long distance relationship, number 1. Number 2, how to change your relationship status. Stop. That's number 2?
How crazy is that?
What?
How to change your
How to change? Why?
Oh, wow.
Who the heck cares what your status is if your relationship is a hot mess? Oh my gosh.
Get out of a toxic relationship is number 8.
Wow.
And the number 10, I told you.
What is a poly relationship? Is 4.
Yeah.
How to save your... Listen, if it's a hot mess with one, why do you want multiples? I'm just saying. How to save your relationship. What is an open relationship? How to get over a relationship. How to get out of it. I am in legit
I'm super amazed at how
number 2 is how to change your relationship status on Facebook, babe.
But I think that it's more telling that number 10 is where people are actually asking, what does a healthy relationship look like? Because
they got tired of changing their Facebook status.
That's why. But I think it's interesting that the first one is how to make a long distance relationship work, but the 10th one is what makes a healthy relationship. You would think they would be back to back, or the first one would be how to make a healthy relationship work, and then how do I do that in a long distance relationship? But I think it's kind of telling, right?
Wow.
People, I wonder if it's at the bottom because people are not sure that anyone knows. Or is it because, they don't know if a healthy relationship exists?
Well, you have to, I think, go into the mind of the person who would be making the search. I don't imagine that a person who is in a relationship would be searching for what does a healthy relationship look like. Like I don't. Or I'll say this. Hold on.
Oh.
I don't think anyone who's in a healthy relationship.
Oh yes, right.
Oh, okay.
For what does a healthy relationship look like?
Right.
Usually, I would imagine that someone who's asking the question, "What does a healthy relationship look like?" might be not in a relationship, having either just come out of one that didn't work, or looking forward to being in one that would work. But in any case, I feel like it's far more likely that the person who's searching for what does a healthy relationship look like is not in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And I also imagine that they wouldn't be in a relationship at all, because if they're in a not healthy relationship, they'd probably be looking up some of the other topics, like how do I get out of a toxic relationship, or how do you build trust, like all those other things that kind of like indicate what's wrong. I don't imagine they would be kind of in the headspace to be like, what does a healthy relationship look like?
It's just the top 10 are like, what is a poly relationship and what is an open relationship like?
It's actually more common than you would think. I know some people here, especially in liberal places like Austin. I know some people here who are in poly relationships, and I've realized it's quite common, actually.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
it's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just super curious to see what how you guys would answer those questions. The answers were great. Mostly you, Robbie, but I like the answers were really insightful.
So ridiculous.
No, I think they were.
Let your brother ask you questions.
No. I think everybody is doing their best, and some people's best is just better. So I think like it's a good place to wrap. But I do really want to thank you guys. I think that it's what you're doing is important. I was telling Leticia the other day that like I run across people all of the time, and me being one of the people who are having conversations about relationships, talking to friends about relationships. And what's far more common is for people who have absolutely no clue what they're talking about to be sharing very articulate opinions about their ineptitudes. It's like that is
I love how you said that.
Much more common, right? And I mean, you guys work at a school, so you know that it's super common, right?
Yes.
Share, this is what you should do, right? And train wreck.
Right.
So, again, what you're doing is super duper important. On behalf of everyone that's listening, a genuine thank you for showing up, for the authenticity, right? For choosing to be open with your relationship and doing it on purpose and making a point of it to go out of your way, sacrifice time away from your family, away from whatever else you could be doing to share a piece of your life and your experience with other people. You could just live it, right? And just like, benefit from it and do what you're doing. But sharing it makes a huge difference.
Guys, thank you so much. I know that this podcast was a little bit different, but we want to thank our good friend and brother Chaz for being our host today, asking us some tough questions that we were able to answer, hopefully, and help. Hopefully we help. So. But we are thankful that you were able to join, and we do hope that you were able to take something away from this that would enrich your life, enrich your relationships, your family. Even if you're not in a relationship, something that you could take away to say, hey, I can work on myself to be a better me for that person that I may end up with in the near future. So as always, we love you guys. Keep having those real talks, those real authentic, life-giving talks that continue to keep us growing. Join us next time when we will have some more interesting things to talk about. All right. Peace.
Bye, guys.